When Ben White signed for Arsenal in the summer of 2021, the headlines weren't about excitement. They were about doubt. $50 million for a 23-year-old defender from Brighton? The football world raised its eyebrows. Pundits scoffed. Rivals mocked. Social media lit up with comparisons, jokes, and skepticism. But fast forward to today, and those same voices are silent. Ben White hasn't just justified his price tag. He has redefined what it means to be a modern defender, proving himself as one of the Premier League's most intelligent and versatile players. White's journey to the top wasn't straightforward. He wasn't a prodigy who burst onto the scene as a teenager. In fact, his rise is a story of grit and resilience. Born in Poole, England, White grew up playing for Southampton Academy, but was released at 16 for being too small. Most players would have given up, but White didn't. He signed for Brighton, where he slowly carved out a career, going on multiple loans to clubs like Newport County, Peterborough, and Leeds United. It was at Leeds under Marcelo Bielsa that he truly found his identity. Bielsa's intense tactical system unlocked White's unique skill set. His ball-playing ability, positional intelligence, and composure under pressure. By the time Arsenal came calling, White was already seen as one of England's brightest young defenders. Yet many doubted whether he was ready for a top club. When Arsenal announced the $50 million deal, critics claimed he wasn't worth it. Those early months in North London weren't easy either. Every mistake was scrutinized, every pass analyzed, as pundits waited to pounce. But Ben White thrives under pressure. And as Mikel Arteta began implementing his vision, White became an essential piece of the puzzle. What makes White so special isn't just his defensive ability, it's his intelligence. He reads the game like a seasoned chess player, always 2 steps ahead of attackers. His positioning is impeccable, his anticipation sharp. But what truly sets him apart is his comfort on the ball. White doesn't just clear danger, he builds play. Under Arteta's tactical system, Arsenal's defenders aren't just defenders, they're playmakers. And White has embraced that role perfectly, breaking lines with his passing and gliding forward with confidence. But the real twist in his story came when Arteta made a bold decision, moving White from center-back to right-back. At first, it felt like an experiment. Many wondered if it was a temporary fix, yet that tactical switch has been nothing short of genius. White didn't just adapt, he excelled. In a role that demanded defensive discipline, attacking support, and positional flexibility, he thrived. He became a key part of Arsenal's fluid backline, often inverting into midfield during build-up play and offering width when needed. Suddenly, White wasn't just a defender. He was a vital cog in one of the Premier League's most dynamic systems. His partnership with Bukayo Saka on the right flank has become one of Arsenal's biggest strengths. While Saka dazzles with his dribbling and creativity, White provides balance, overlapping runs, and defensive cover. Their chemistry is remarkable, with White often playing the unsung role, making clever off-the-ball movements, offering passing options, and covering space to allow Saka to shine. It's a perfect example of how White's contributions go far beyond the stat sheet. And that's the thing about Ben White. He's not flashy. He doesn't rely on last-ditch tackles or dramatic clearances to get noticed. His defending is efficient, clean, and calculated. He rarely gets caught out of position because he doesn't need to make desperate challenges. That understated style often leads to him being underrated. But ask any Arsenal fan, and they'll tell you, Ben White is indispensable. Another aspect that makes White unique is his mentality. He's famously low-key, uninterested in the celebrity lifestyle that often comes with Premier League stardom. In interviews, he's honest and straightforward. He doesn't even watch much football, which has baffled pundits but speaks volumes about his calm, grounded personality. That calmness translates onto the pitch, no matter the occasion. Whether it's a North London derby or a Champions League night, White plays with the same composure. His transformation into a world-class right-back has been one of the defining stories of Arsenal's resurgence under Arteta. In a league full of star-studded attackers, White has silenced some of the best. Whether it's shutting down explosive wingers or stepping into midfield to dictate play, His versatility gives Arsenal an edge few teams can match. He's strong in duels, quick enough to keep pace with the fastest players, and technically sound to contribute in possession. Last season, Arsenal's title charge was built on their solid defensive structure, and White was at the heart of it. Alongside William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, and Oleksandr Zinchenko, he formed a backline that blended power, technique, and intelligence. Even when Saliba was injured and the team faltered, White's consistency stood out. He was the steady presence Arsenal relied on in high-pressure moments. Yet, despite his brilliance, White remains one of the Premier League's most underrated players. He's rarely the subject of glowing pundit praise, and his name doesn't dominate headlines like other defenders. Perhaps it's because he's not flashy, or maybe it's because Arsenal's attacking stars steal the spotlight. But that's part of his appeal. White isn't playing for recognition, he's playing to win. His selflessness is what makes him so vital to Arteta's vision. Another fascinating aspect of White's game is his adaptability. Few players can transition between roles seamlessly, but White makes it look effortless. At Brighton, he was used as a center-back, right-back, and even a defensive midfielder at times. That versatility has been a blessing for Arsenal. When injuries hit, Arteta has been able to shift him around without losing quality. That kind of tactical flexibility is invaluable for a team chasing titles. And let's talk about his technical ability. White's passing is crisp and progressive, often breaking the lines to start attacks. His ability to carry the ball forward adds another dimension to Arsenal's build-up. He's not afraid to take risks, which is crucial for a team that dominates possession and relies on breaking down deep defenses. His composure on the ball allows Arsenal to maintain control even under pressure, a quality that separates elite defenders from the rest. Off the pitch, White has become a fan favorite for his humor and understated personality. Whether it's his banter with teammates or his dry sense of humor in interviews, he's carved out a reputation as one of football's more relatable stars. He's not trying to be a brand, he's simply focused on the game. In an era where players are often overexposed, White's simplicity is refreshing. Looking ahead, White's role in Arsenal's future is massive. He's only 26, entering the prime of his career and already a key leader in the dressing room. As Arsenal continue to push for Premier League titles and Champions League success, White's consistency and adaptability will be crucial. He's not just a stopgap solution at right-back. He's redefined the position for Arteta's system. For years, Arsenal were criticized for lacking defensive steel, for being too easy to break down. Those days are over. With White as part of their defensive core, Arsenal have a backline capable of competing with the best in Europe. He's proof that modern defending isn't just about brute force. It's about intelligence, positioning, and technical ability. Ben White's story is a reminder that greatness doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it's the quiet, calculated players who make the biggest impact. From being doubted and mocked for his price tag to becoming one of Arsenal's most trusted players, White has silenced every critic, and he's done it his way, calmly, consistently, and without fuss. So the next time you watch Arsenal play, keep an eye on Ben White. Watch how he drifts into midfield, how he makes himself available for every pass, how he shuts down attacks before they even begin. He might not be the loudest name on the team sheet, but his importance is undeniable. Ben White isn't just underrated. He's redefining what it means to be a top-level defender in modern football. And if Arsenal are going to climb back to the top of English football, his contributions will be every bit as vital as those of their attacking stars. If you're tired of defenders only getting credit for last-ditch tackles and viral clips, smash that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment about your favorite Ben White moment. Because this is a player who doesn't need noise. His football does all the talking, and right now it's speaking volumes.